the first 7 minutes of the third term. So a break in play. Langman to start us away again. And we'll see who comes out with the clear possession here. Clark's got it. The Green just screaming, saying 3 seconds. Brown hasn't been prepared to shoot too often. Again, you can almost guarantee she'll do that.
And why not? She's got someone like Van Dyke who is just so sure. Really, no matter what sort of battering she takes on her body, Van Dyke, she'll pull the pass in.
30 goals from 30 attempts. Irene Van Dyke. Now Cox goes back to Green. And that one rolls out, but Williams, well, that came off Casey Williams, and I've got no understanding of how you can call that anything but a Swifts ball, unless there's some sort of rule that I don't know, Liz, where...
Well, I guess it wasn't a throw-in, and Kath Cox had given away the penalty, so she was arguing the opposite way, but you've just got to know with the umpire at this end, she will favour the attacking team or the team with the ball, so the Swifts just have to make the most of those opportunities.
He's up here with Langman. Oh, brilliant defensive effort there from Smith. Stuck the one hand up, collected it with the other.
Still get the feeling from the Swifts there's only one option when they've got the ball. So just need a couple more people moving. And that's probably a really good example. That sort of contact getting pulled up at this end won't get pulled up at the other end. So this is a time for the Swifts to make the most of it. They're not going to get those sort of calls in the last quarter.
Maybe they need to be a little closer than 4 or 5 goals, Liz, at three-quarter time. They've got some real momentum. They've scored 8 of the last 11. As Irene comes up with a penalty, and Julie Fitzgerald joins us again. Julie, we've got a feeling of some great momentum and really good energy around your side at the moment.
Yeah, there's certainly a little bit more desperation, and I think we're working the ball a whole lot better now than we did in the first half.
It just looks like, Julie, when your team gets stagnant, I guess there's just the one offer to the ball. It just looks with Courtney Tyree coming on. She's been in this furnace before. She knows what it's like now, and she's a little bit smarter this week than last week.
I think so, and she's looking for the ball a lot more. I think before she was trying to hide out of it a little bit, but out there now she's really looking for the ball. We just have to do a lot more coming down the court to stop this feed going into Irene, because she's playing superbly at the moment.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to ask you defensively. What have you instructed Rebecca Bully in particular to do in this second half?
Mix it up a little bit, trying to take Sonia right off the body and just attack the ball that's coming in. Sometimes drop back and put the double in, and sometimes work the front and try and force the ball up so Sonia's got an opportunity to come onto it.
Thanks, Julie. And that's the play that Julie's speaking about, trying to restrict. Easier said than done. Great take there from Cox, and we're 7-goal margin. The Swifts have been able to score with a little more ease so far in the third quarter. 3 minutes, 38 remaining in the third term.
It's interesting, we saw the goal attempts there. Both teams have had 38 attempts at goal. Just phenomenal shooting from Magic that they have scored from 37 of those. And when you look at Van Dyke sitting at 32 from 32, not quite at three-quarter time. So, you know, she's the catalyst and she is the difference for both teams.
Given that's the case, and it doesn't seem to be a hard thing to ascertain, Liz, when you've got one scorer who scored 32, and you've got Brown who scored 5, and Jodie Brown will have a shot here, but she doesn't want to shoot for that reason.
Yeah, and that's why.
Why don't you just allow her to and play the biggest double team of your life on Irene? If you get beaten because Jodie Brown shoots the house down, you wear it, and let the other two just try and put some pressure on Van Dyke.
Yeah, I agree. I guess, you know, there's a couple of ways you can approach that. You can get someone getting their hands up over the top of Brown and really disrupting the feed, but I guess at the moment for the Swifts, they need the ball and they've got to stop Van Dyke to do that. So, yeah, a double team back on Van Dyke would be, I guess, a preferred method of defence.
Centre obstruction, centre third.
But you've got to be able to finish it off, and the Swifts have just had too many turnovers up at that front line. So, you know, the Swifts have had 11 turnovers for the game, 5 less than Magic, but it just feels like they've come at really crucial times.
That turnover converted into a goal. Back out to 8 goals. So for all of their momentum, all of their energy, they've only been able to reduce the margin back to a goal. Now, which way is this decision going to go? They're saying it's off the hands of McCloma.
I think that's right. McCloma tried to argue the other way, and it's worth an argue. Jodie Brown there getting cute, but she can afford to do that with a 9-goal, 8-goal lead and really showing her entire box of tricks there.
A bit of Hollywood stuff there from the Magic. And Cox's pass, well, just put Green under too much pressure. And it's just fallen apart a little bit. Good effort from Bully. Deflection, but they need possession.
Yeah, they do, and you just get the feeling that the Swifts' defensive line has increased their work rate. They're getting their hands to a lot more ball. They're creating opportunities, just not being, I guess, finished through down the other end.
Sit.
We'll work a little harder on this occasion, but the end result much the same.
Well, the Adelaide Thunderbirds currently watching today's match as a team, and they'll be watching this with a lot of interest. I think they'll be thinking that they've got the game, I guess, to beat both teams, but one of the strengths of their game is their defensive work rate. And should they meet the Magic next week, it will be tested.
Brilliant play there. Really slick. Van Dyke kept it in. Ended with Brown, and she delivered. And now the Magic have scored the last 5 goals and really taken a lot of the heat out of this contest again.
Yeah, great response from the Magic. The Swifts really threw everything at them in the first part of this quarter, and it's a sign of a good team to weather that storm and then just to start to pull away again.
Out of play.
Casey Williams bouncing up and down there in the one spot. Eventually she gave away the penalty.
Advantage when defense break.
Well, can Van Dyke score? Not quite, but a really good finish then. She's pleading with the umpire with a smile on her face, and she can afford to have a smile on her face. Magic then really weathering the storm. Their defensive line was kept a bit quiet by the fact that the Swifts stepped up their intensity, started to get the ball through to Cox and Pratley a little easier, but really from the Magic's point of view, their mid-court and also their front line started to stand up, and once they started to find Van Dyke, they really put a little bit of kibosh in the Swifts fight back.
The margin is 10 goals.